Hello, everybody. Podcasting from Ontario, California. Welcome to Fractured Poet, a podcast for all you poetically insane individuals who love getting lost in the art of poetry. I am your host, Katrina Wisniewski, just another person in the world obsessed with words, striving to make sense of it all. Today's episode will include a couple of poems that relate more to the writing process as a poet. I have to admit, there have been many passing moments when poetry and I just do not get along. To figure out which words to use, where to put them, how to arrange them, which lines should go where, if I may be bold, poetry is a bitch. But don't let that fool you. I am a sucker for poetry. No matter how frustrated and pissed off I get at the writing process, I don't know where I would be without poetry. I love reading it. I love writing it. It's an outlet for me. I guess the two poems that I chose for this episode have caught me with my pants down, so to speak. My poetry has a tendency to call me out when I need it most. It puts me in my place or tells me how it really is at that very moment in time. Here is the craft. Poetry is such a complicated craft to understand and master. It's a muse one cannot escape without malice. The madness created by simple composition, initiating the process with an interlocking verse followed by a lengthy stanza. How it all connects, gripping the attention of the readers while explaining some epic thought, a rhyme to sweeten the deal, because everyone loves a poetic rhythm. In the end, the only thing left is an underdeveloped lyric begging to be finished. Okay, so maybe that poem wasn't as harsh as I made it out to be, but after reading this poem again, it made me realize how much thought actually goes into writing a poem. It's even more amazing to see the outcome once it is done. The next poem is called Insane Cranium. I want to understand my emotions, the way they occur, and how they so quickly just disappear. Sitting up at night, wondering why I think so much, unable to control my thoughts, as words turn into sentences, my phrases transform into poetry, and off I go. Typing senseless words which reflect a fraction of my thoughts, but who knows if these words, my thoughts, are truly sincere, addicted to the process. I love how a simple phrase can turn into a poetic masterpiece, yet at the same time, it confuses me. How can someone produce so many words at one given time? What causes these overflowing thoughts? How does it work? Does it ever stop? And there I go again, thinking about thinking too much, if there is such a thing. I end this tangent with only an unanswered question and a confused cranium. If I haven't said it yet, poetry is a bittersweet pleasure of mine. I can't tell you how many times I've found myself getting so upset because I can't find the right words, or even find the words at all. There have been many times where I have had this sudden urge to write a poem, but when I sit down and put thought to paper, nothing happens. All that I'm left with is a blank canvas. I am constantly thinking. My mind is always running away with me. And it eventually creates a poem, to be honest. I mean, I find it intriguing how I can write a poem breaking down how one writes a poem piece by piece, which exposes the rawness of it all. A love-hate relationship we have, poetry and I. Who knew? And with that, I will end the show with extending a tremendous thank you to all of you that have been listening to Fractured Poet. You can catch this episode and further episodes at anchor.fm/fractured poet. This episode of Fractured Poet was written and produced by me, Katrina Wisniewski. Music both by Alternative Rock Volume 1 and Rock Electronica Volume 4 from freeplaymusic.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Fractured Poet. And as always, thanks for listening, and until next time.